Well, hi, good morning. Thank you for joining me in my shop. Today is February 13th. We had snowfall overnight. We are buried in snow here. More snow coming. And yeah, that's the story here. Snow, snow, snow all over Ontario. So, what about this tube tester now? I'm ready to go to the next steps in the alignment process. The heading is GM adjustment, so it's all about adjusting this so it can make a proper GM measurement. Requires a 6C4 tube. I think I have a brand new one here that's never been used, but I think it's part of the calibration process for it. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I need that tube. And I've also removed the resistor I temporarily installed on the back of the behind here. This is kind of bent up here. Because it's no longer needed. It was just needed for the tests I was doing, or the calibration steps from yesterday. So that's the story here. Okay, so I'm gonna get first thing first, get my coffee ready, and then we're gonna go to town on this guy. Just before I get going on this, the last video I posted, and I did a couple of alignment steps, and one of them you were supposed to make an adjustment and bring the meter down to 0. And it was right on 0 to start with. That leaves me thinking there's something wrong with the machine. So just keep that in mind. It seemed rather bizarre to me that it happened to be dead on 0 all on its own. Okay, let's try staying put here. Let's try that. Okay, so I've set this up in accordance with the instructions here. We have a diagram, this one here, diagram A, and it shows the position of all the switches in that. I set it up that way. I found a 6C4 tube, 6, what's the matter with me today? Yeah, 6C4 tube, which I believe is brand new. It's probably no good anymore, but here it is. Yeah, definitely. That's a brand new 6C4. Excellent. So I have this set. Let's follow the instructions here. This is made in Canada. Canadian vacuum tube. Okay. It's on the top here, Jim. Rotate short switch through all of it. Oh, wait a minute. Set front panel controls for 6C4 as shown in diagram A below. Insert 6C4, turn power on. Insert 6C4. Some of the sound you're hearing in the background is my cats. They're at their peak activity here. What are you guys doing? And they're busily getting into trouble. It's for the next 20 minutes or so. Okay, so that's in. Switch it on. Switch it on. Let's put it on here. Here we go. Dim bulbs. Always, just because. Why not? Looks good. $115 volts being fed. Now, are we supposed to do the line adjust? I don't think so. Turn power on. Rotate short switch through all its positions and return to the test normal position. The short neon bulb should light only on 1, 3, 4, and 5. Watching the short light here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it's out, and out. Turn it back to the test normal position. Okay. Rotate the meter switch to line and adjust the line adjust control in the front panel for center scale reading. I guess I want to make sure there's no shorts in the tube before you do that. So go to line. Excellent. And we adjust for precision. Well, my house is being destroyed just behind me. Probably bias is probably what's next here. Adjust the line. Rotate meter switch to bias. Bias slide switch to 10. Adjust bias on front bit to 5 volts on 10 volt scale. Okay, we're on the 10 volt scale. Go to bias. Now we hopefully will adjust it to 5 volts on the 10 volt scale. That would be straight up. It's amazing what two little cats can do. They're probably wrestling in there. Adjust bias potentiometer to 5 volts. Repeat sections C and D above. Rotate. So they're looking for super precision here. Go back to the line. Make sure the line is properly adjusted, which it is. Yeah, I can't get any more accurate than that. Bias carefully set to 5. It's right on the money. Okay, so we've gone back and forth on that. We know for sure we've got everything set right. Rotate meter switch to test and note reading on 3000. Well, yeah, meter switch to test. Rotate meter switch to test and note reading on 3000. Well, you're not going to get a rotate meter switch to test. But the test is not on test. Meter switch to test. The meter's not going to go up till this is put on test. Did they make a mistake here? Rotate meter switch to test and note reading on 3000 GM scale. This is the 0 to 3 scale of the meter. Without changing any settings whatsoever. Rotate plate shunt switch to D. Look for the same reading. Well, I'm going to have to assume that they just have neglected to tell you to throw switch to test, or did I miss it somewhere? Yeah, I missed it. Rotate. What are you guys doing in here? I'm going to try to show you what my cats are up to. Unfortunately, my camera wire is all tangled up here. There we go. Kind of like that. I guess I'm showing you my dirty laundry right now, but that's what's going on, not much. Okay. Okay, back to this. Back to this. Do it right now. Rotate test switch to hold. I missed that. I'm supposed to rotate test switch to hold. Then, I missed that. Rotate meter switch to line, adjust line. So this should have been on in the test position during this line check, which is still okay. And then we have the bias check. Right on. Okay, everything's good. Aren't we supposed to see a reading here now? We should see a reading, shouldn't we? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rotate meter switch to test and note reading on 3000 scale. Rotate meter switch to test. Well, I did. From line bias over to test. Whoops. This is not working right. Go over this again. Just on the face of it, this is all set up and ready to go. The tube is dead? The tube is no good? It looked brand new to me. We have to test the tube in another tube tester to clarify that situation. Okay, I'm going to move it to another tube tester. Okay, let's give this a try. Same 6C4 tube. In there, let's just double check these. 6C4, JR6307. JR6307 with a 0, 24. Okay. This tube should go up to 2200 if it's new. So 3000 scale, 2200 puts it up there. Brand new tube should go there. Notice that I have no short flashing here. That's an indication the tube is bad. Huh. Brand new. Brand new, and it doesn't work. It's really hard to believe. This really looks brand new, or well, you know, NOS, new old stock. I can't believe it. Just for fun, a line adjust. Let's double check just to be sure. 6307. While it's warming up, 6307. Well, okay. I did not expect that. Feels like it's warming up, but not much. Wow, that's a stunner. I picked it because it's in this nice box and it looks good. Well, that'll be. Okay, let's look for another one. I happen to have the box open. One that looks brand new. 6C4. I don't know that I have one that's brand new. I can't even be sure this is a 6C4 until I take it out of the box. 6C4, and it looks like one. And this is a high mileage one. I can see the black staining inside. So this guy's seen action. He's seen action. Let's see what happens here. So I put this socket in, and it's a little bit of an awkward tube socket. A little hard to get the tubes in. Had I known that, I might have picked a different one. But a little bit of craziness. Go, oh, somebody's shutting the door. Little cats just slammed the door on me. Holy smokes. Winter storm warning ended for Aurelia. Great. Okay, here we go. Any shorts? Now it's flashing. Flashing is good. Flashing indicates it operates. She's a good one. So 2200 would be new, and the throw it away point for this tube is 1385, which is going to be way down here somewhere. So it's about midlife. That's good. That's good. 6C4, I think that's just a basic triode. I don't think it's anything fancy about it. Okay, did I leave this guy on all this time? I did not. We're going to put the tube in. Much easier socket there. Okay, we'll turn on the tester. Give it a moment. Do we need to follow the instructions? Do I know the instructions at this point? check for shorts right off the bat. Are there any shorts? So remember, it was 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we saw a flash here, just like the other tester. That's probably a very good sign. Okay, we'll go to the bias. Bias is 5. We'll go to the line. The line is on. Correct. Everything's correct. Back to test. Test. Ready for a test. Look at that. Now the key thing is to get the same reading on multiple settings of the plate shunt. So one thing, we want this to be quite steady. I don't want it drifting down or something like that. Some tubes drift down, so that's why I'm holding it. In fact, I'm going to use the hold button. Good idea. Okay, how sensitive is it to the bias adjustment? Okay, not terribly sensitive. That's good. That means, you know, if there isn't any precision here, it doesn't matter all that much. If you have this off a little bit, it doesn't matter all that much. Okay, so looks good. Now the next step is reading that meter fairly carefully. And I think it's only going to go down and down, which is unfortunate because you know, I almost feel like pushing it up and then doing it because it's so low. But let's see what goes on here, in case I got this all wrong. Note reading on the 3000 scale. Okay, on the 3000 scale. So this is the 0 to 3. So it's exactly 500 on the 3000 scale. Exactly 500, which is handy. It's really handy. In fact, if I just turn this a little bit, I can make it even more exactly 500. 500. Okay, now what's it say? Without changing any settings whatsoever, rotate plate shunt switch to 6K. This changes the instrument to the 6000 scale. Adjust potentiometer P5A. Uh-oh, I can't get at it. But let's do the test. Same reading, 6000. Wow, okay, so we're going to flip it to the 6000 scale, and it's going to go down in half. Oh! Completely disappeared. That's because the adjustment is set to its maximum underneath. Yeah, I've got to flip this thing up and carry on. That way, can't do it this way. Okay, let's turn it off, and I'm going to flip it up and get it ready for doing the adjustments. Okay, I think I'm ready to try this. So I have a camera positioned right above the meter. You'll be able to see the meter and me too. And I've got this ready to go into the adjustment, which is 5A to start with. First adjustment. I think everything is ready to go. Okay, let me put this off here and we'll turn the machine on. Okay, it's on. Give it a little bit of time to warm up the tube also. Can perform the short test in a moment. I think I already did all that. We really just flip this on to test because this is going to come up. I'll flip the meter. I'll flip the camera here to the meter view. Okay, I'm going to flip this on to test hold. There we are. You can see a little bit of a drift down, and then it's going to hold. If you look at the 3 scale down near the bottom there, it's right on 0.5 or 500. And if it isn't, I'll make it right on it. And the idea is I flip to a different scale. I go from the 3 to the 6 scale and try to get the same reading on the 6 scale. You know, I think I was reading the wrong scale right now. It's not on 0.5. I'm looking at the wrong scale. I'm looking at the filament amp scale. That's dumb. Okay, let's put this. Let's make it. I'm adjusting the bias to force it up to here. I like the nice round number. Okay, so now we're on the 3 scale of the GM scale. Great. Okay, so I'm going to flip to the other scale now. And it goes to 0. Now I'm going to make the adjustment, and hopefully we'll bring it up. And we're shooting for, oops, shooting for 500 on this scale. That's going to be about there, isn't it? So on the 6th scale, yeah, it would be there. Okay, going back to the other scale. Just a hair above. It's also just a hair above. That's pretty close. Okay, what's the next one? I wish we were working more in the middle of the meter rather than down near the end like that. Repeat G above, except that the plate shunt switch is rotated to the C or 8K range. Adjust potentiometer P6 for the same reading. Wow, it's going to be really, really low. So we just go to the next scale, and I'm adjusting P6. Okay, let me find P6 here. P6. Luckily I've numbered all these. Here's number 6 right here. The last time I did this. Okay, we're ready on 6. And let's go to the other camera again. Okay, so going first to the 500 on the 3 scale, 500 on the 6 scale. Oh my god, how am I going to do 500 on this scale? Okay, there we go. So 500 on this scale would be on the 8. Okay, I'm adjusting it. It would be there, wouldn't it? That would be 500, wouldn't it? On the 8 scale. We're on the 8 scale. Well, that sure looks like 500 to me. Maybe just a touch high. Where's it going? Going higher and higher. Right there. So that's 500 on the 8 scale, 500 on the 6 scale, 500 on the 3 scale. So I'd say that's completed. Looking here. Where am I? I'm totally lost here. Where I am. Okay, here we're down to this now. Screen balance and voltage adjustment. So that's the next stage here. Screen balance and voltage adjustment. Okay, I will read through this stuff. We come all the way down to here. The next thing is emission calibration. So I do all this stuff. Looks like I should drink some coffee and read all that. Okay, so I'm going to do the next step here, but right in the middle of it, it says adjust the front panel controls for a 6L6 tube as shown in diagram B. Remove leads from previous step. That's these 2 test leads, I think is what they're talking about. And repeat section 15A above, except that 2 and 7 are the only ones that should light. Well, that would indicate that the 6L6 is in the machine. So they aren't completely clear here, but I think the only you can conclude is that we're gonna set it up for a 6L6. Stick a 6L6 in there, and repeat steps 15B, C, and D. 15B, C, and D. It's just setting the bias in that. Return test switch to off and meter switch to test. Without changing any of the settings, turn the instrument off. Remove the lead from lug 14 of... What? Remove the lead... I don't know. Okay, I'm in trouble here. I gotta read this more carefully. Okay, I think I've got it straight enough now. Let's just go through it here. Remove the 6C4, rotate switch C to A, rotate the 0 switch to position 3, and I've already done that. That's position 3 on the 0 or the O switch, and I've changed this to A. Okay. I shouldn't really take my finger off here. Connect a DC voltmeter from the plate jack to chassis ground, and that's what the red and black probes are. Use a range of at least 100 volts, so my meter goes 60 or 600, so I've got it on 60, which may not be enough, but we'll see. Adjust the front panel controls for a 6L6 tube. No. They've written this poorly. Adjust P14 for 60 volts on the DC voltmeter. That's over. Then adjust the front panel controls. So they haven't broken the paragraphs properly in here, in my view. So it's a little confusing. They've got a little bit of the next step stuck in the paragraph of the previous step, and I'm so concerned that I get this right. So without a 6L6 in there, just following what it says here. I've done the 2 adjustments there. I have the meter in place. Rotate bias potentiometer to 0 and bias slide switch to 50. I've done that. Turn the instrument on. I have not done that. Rotate meter switch to line. Okay, turn the instrument on. Here we go. Okay. Turn the instrument on. Rotate the meter switch to line and adjust the line adjust control for center scale. Okay. And center scale. There. There we go. Okay. There's nothing at all showing up there. I've lost where I am. Rotate the meter switch to line and adjust the line adjust control for center scale. Adjust pin P14 for 60 volts on the DC voltmeter. Okay, that's it. At P14, 60 volts on that meter there. Okay, P14 is down here. See if I can get in there. Yep. Okay, here we go. Adjusting. Hello. Nothing's happening. I don't like it when it doesn't work. Difficulties getting this to go in. This is a I'm sure I just saw sparks inside where I'm doing this. That's not a good sign. Okay, can't see what I'm doing. Okay. You know what? This tool won't. That's no good. That's the problem. Okay, I have to use a little screwdriver to stick my hand in there. Okay. I can see the meter. Okay, I'm on P14 here. The screwdriver's too big. Gotta go smaller. There we go. And the meter's not responding at all. Okay, I've left the control. It was set at one extreme as it's supposed to be. It's set closer to the middle now, but we're not seeing anything on here. Why is that? Why is that? I have this in the plate. I have this on the ground. I know this ground terminal is grounded. I've seen it. No voltage at all. So I left this in line. Is that the problem? Is that the problem? Rotate meter switch to line and adjust the line adjust control for center scale. Then it just says adjust P14 for 60 volts on the DC voltmeter. Adjust front panel controls for that's the next thing. So that's the next paragraph starting, and they didn't start it in the next paragraph. Or is it? Or is it just, or am I? No, it says adjust the voltage and then change the controls for a L6. So you're adjusting this P14 and it's P14, right? I didn't get that wrong, did I? P14. Okay, is there a chance I misidentified P14? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop for a sec here. Okay, so the adjustment I think is P14 is P14. I'm sure of that. So I'm making an adjustment. It's not showing up on the meter. I think they forgot to say return this switch to the test position. That's what would throw the B plus up onto the tube. My guess. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to flip this to test. And hope that meter would start showing something. I think the secret to this whole test is that this control is set to number 3 here. I think it's something special about it. Okay, I'm going to try adjusting it. But I did leave it up a bit, so the meter should have come up a bit. But I will try adjusting it. What the little screwdriver. And there's just nothing happening on that meter. Well, this is not supposed to be like this. Oh, maybe I got to put this on test, because I really don't have it on test yet. Too many test switches. Okay, test. Okay, now we're gonna go make the adjustment here. Why is it jumping around so much? It's going down, isn't it? It's a capacitor discharging is what it is. I put this back on off. Will it go back up? Leave this on line and flip this to test. What happened? Huh. It's dropping again. Looks like just another capacitor discharging. Off. Yeah, so either I'm encountering a problem with the machine now, or I haven't got something right. GM screen balance and voltage adjustment. Remove the 6C4. Rotate switch C to A. Maybe C is on A. Rotate switch 0 to position number 3. This is switch 0 and it's on position number 3. Connect a DC voltmeter from the plate jack to the chassis ground. Plate jack, chassis ground. Use a range of at least 100 volts. We haven't worried about that yet. Rotate the bias potentiometer to 0. 0. Set the bias switch to 50. It is. Turn the instrument on, rotate the meter switch to line, and adjust the line adjust for center scale. Then it says right there, adjust P14 for 60 volts on the DC meter. It never says to touch this or this. So these would be left in this position, line, which doesn't make sense because the meter is connected to the line test when it's in this position. How can it? Well, that doesn't matter what's going on in this meter, does it? What matters is what's going on over there. There's nothing going on over there. There's nothing going on over there. Oh my gosh. I am frozen here. P14 for 60 volts on the DC voltmeter. I don't see that I'm doing a single thing wrong at this point. I'm quite convinced I've got everything just the way it should be. So we should see 60 volts on there, but we don't. We flip this to test. We're getting a crazy voltage there of 8 volts. We don't know what that's about. We put this up here on test. Check the bias. Ooh, what happened there? The bias is set to 0, right. Put this on test because I don't know what to do, and we've hit the test switch. We get a nice voltage there, but it quickly depletes. I don't know what to think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to conclude there's something wrong with it and then start troubleshooting when in fact I'm just not doing something right here and I just haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, I got to stop for a while. So, yeah, exactly. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this for doing the 6C4 tube test again, put the 6C4 back in there, and read the plate voltage on the meter to see if the plate voltage shows up. Because I think it does, because the tube tested. So how could it test without plate voltage? It has to have some plate voltage. So let's do that, and I don't know. Let's do that and see what happens. I'll set it up here. Okay, let's just run through the process of testing a 6C4. So the unit's turned off right now. I've got all the controls set for 6C4. Bias is set to 0. So we're going to want to raise the bias up to, what did it say before? Was it, son of a gun, I've forgotten. Well, I remember, but I doubt my memory. So it was 5, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 5. It was 5. Don't doubt your memory. Okay. All we really want to do is see if any B plus shows up on this meter at any point. That's really the only objective. On we go. So I think if this is in the off position, we won't see any voltage up here. Okay, so set the line. We'll do this, try to practice this properly. Set the line up to here. You'll see me sneakily change this to 10 volts for the bias. Okay, bias setting. I want to set that also right up here. Still see nothing coming over there. Okay, we go back to test. Now we're going to flip this on to hold, and hopefully we're going to see some voltage over there. So you see, like this came up. So that really suggests things are working. In fact, I'm going to go poke around in here and see if I can't find a B plus voltage. I can poke on this one real easy right here. What's that tell you? Let's try another one. Tells me the meter's not. So there's a minus. That's the bias. Let me adjust the bias adjustment here. Yeah, that's the bias adjustment, but it's not 5. It's 5. It's not 5. Let me put it 5 on this meter. And the control is jumpy. There's 5. Okay, if we flip this to bias, we're under 5 on here. Am I reading the right scale? Bias scale. Yeah, 5 is right in the middle. Okay. Okay, so we saw a bias voltage here. How about a plate voltage? There's a plate voltage. There we are. How do I know for sure that's the plate voltage? Well, it's 132 volts. What else could it be? Turn this off. Okay, that's interesting. It shows for sure that the plate voltage is removed. Probably the bias. Bias. Your bias just falls to 1.5. How come I couldn't find it over here? I don't know. What about up here? It may not be present. It just depends on the settings of all those buttons, so it doesn't appear to be present in these sockets. Oh, I don't have this on. Duh. Let's try that again. Try that again. There we are. There's that. There it was. Just bad contact. Now we don't have any information about what that number should be. We only have information about what that number should be when a particular test is being performed here. And this is moved to position 3 and things are set a certain way. So we can find the voltage. Wait a minute, Jim, you're not thinking hard enough. We can find the voltage there, but for some reason it's not on the plate terminal. So that's it. Okay, I'm done. So tomorrow we'll investigate why there is plate voltage, but it's not appearing in this terminal, and it could just be a simple wiring thing, something like that going on. But I'm going to leave it here for now. Let's see if we can figure that out. Tomorrow I have to go out and fight with the snow now. But I'm going to win the fight. Have a great day, and see you on the next video.